Welcome to Spoiler Alert, where we talk about and spoil your favorite shows. This week, we defend Sons of Anarchy's Tara from her haters.
Please don't punish me.
We dissect Scandal's Mother of a Cliffhanger. We look ahead to the big Mentalist Red John showdown. And we pose this provocative question: what is Saul going to do with Brody? Welcome, Matt.
How are you?
I like your t-shirt.
Thank you.
Veronica Mars. So how much did you contribute?
Thousands, or at least $25, maybe 50.
Yeah, I donated a little bit similar amount, and I got my t-shirt. Very exciting. It took long enough. Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, it's getting really heated there between Tara and Gemma.
And here's my problem.
Okay.
People are hating on Tara because she faked this pregnancy and then faked the miscarriage and lied to Jax and all of this stuff.
There's a lot of things I'd do to protect my family. Faking the death of a baby, that ain't one of them.
Some of the fans are saying she needs to actually die, and my feeling is they're forgetting that Gemma is the one who killed Jax's father, or essentially was complicit in his death, all in the name of protecting the family.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had a line that couldn't be crossed.
Gemma's crossed so many lines over the years. Like, I can't side with that character in almost any scenario.
Yeah.
There have been a few sympathetic moments for her, but I'm definitely on Tara's side. The only thing I've got with Tara is, would she really just kind of like snap like that after learning of Jax's infidelity?
Tara! Crazy bitch!
My interpretation of how the whole motorcycle world works is it's almost like Rain, whereas, you know, the king, he's got a mistress. It's like an official position.
No. They're different.
They're
Their
different.
relationship,
They're
they always
different.
sort of operated on a different level than all of the other relationships.
Okay.
And there was a trust there, so I understood why she flipped out. To me, that was like the final straw for her.
What are you doing with that?
What you did to me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's right before she goes to CCH Pounder and was like,
I'm ready to talk. Please.
Yeah, I guess it's in the context of Tara's been trying so hard to do right by this crappy little family they've got.
yeah.
And she's put up the good front. She's put up with all of his garbage. And then, you know, this is the thing she gets.
Right.
He goes off, you know, boinks like some, you know, a hooker of all people.
Well, and also it's important to note that both of her children almost got blown up this season in an explosion. You know, and she's doing all of this because she faces the threat of going to jail, and she doesn't want her children to be raised in this world. And I totally get it.
But how extreme are they going to get? I mean, she's walking around waving around this gun.
Oh, God. What's happening to me?
I mean, we have 3 episodes left this season.
3 episodes left.
Is she dead by the end of the season?
No, absolutely not. My feeling is they can't kill her. She's too important to the show. She represents too much. She represents an out for Jax. She represents...
Right, if she dies, he just gives up.
There's no stakes. That central relationship is such a huge part of the show. You take that out of the equation, a lot of the reason for tuning in is gone. Moving on to Scandal. Huge episode of Scandal.
Yes.
I would just like to toot my own horn and say I predicted that the mother was alive. Although it wasn't much of a leap to take.
No, I mean, you don't get Candy Alexander to be
Exactly.
in 1.5 flashback scenes.
Our daughter's been asking about you.
But, you know, we keep forgetting how fast Scandal moves. And you think, all right, well, if the mother's really alive, Shonda will save that for the, you know, the fall finale or something.
Right.
But boom, it's like an episode later. And even going into that scene, he's walking down the hall into this prison. He's going there to see Omar Dresden, the guy who was on the plane, who got removed from the plane. I know it's not going to be Omar Dresden in that cot, but I did not expect it to be Candy Alexander.
Sort of begs the question, has she been in there for 20 years in that prison cell?
Yeah, that's a huge question. For more than
Come
20
on.
years. Yeah.
And if that's the case, she's going to be out for blood.
But there's other questions about the flight, like why shoot down the flight because it had a bomb on board? Like, why did the flight take off in the first place?
Another big part of this is now Fitz didn't kill her mother. He might have killed 200
because she's
other
still
people.
alive.
Because she's still alive,
And
right.
he didn't.
He's not responsible for her death.
And this episode also shed a lot of light on what made Mellie who she is today.
Yep.
All that she's given up over the years in the name of Fitz's ambitions and his career.
Good God, you're a beautiful woman.
I sensed where that rape scene was going
I didn't.
the moment it
see
started.
coming. Yeah.
Just because, you know, it was moodily lit, it was shadowy, he was drunk.
Do you think he's the father of one of their children?
I'm going to assume so. I'm going to assume he's the father of Jerry, the son that we've never seen.
Also, what was interesting about this episode for me was it was very Olivia light. Kerry Washington is pregnant. You have to imagine that she's going to be written light or out completely toward the end of the season because she's going to be very pregnant. This offered us a little bit of a glimpse of what the show would look like with not much Olivia, and it was okay. But can we go like 5 consecutive episodes with hardly no Olivia? I don't know.
The other thing about this episode is, my God, I'm actually okay with the Quinn storyline now. It's starting to make sense. Like, it got interesting for a second.
Yeah.
You belong to B613 now. Welcome to Wonderland.
Charlie, B613, they've totally got her in a corner. They tricked her into killing the only witness to the whole bombed flight thing.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting
Yeah, that was
now.
a good twist. Big episode of Mentalist this past Sunday, looking ahead to an even bigger episode coming up. You've seen it, next
Yes.
week's episode. Is it a satisfying payoff to this 5.5-year Red John mystery?
You know, I had that question to one of the producers, the one who wrote this past Sunday's episode, and I told him, this is Jordan Harper we're talking about, I said my issue with the way the closer ended was, for that whole series, Brenda Lee was so smart, and her archenemy was so smart. And then the big finale was not about wits, it wasn't about smarts, it was a clumsy gun going off and shooting the guy. So I said, you know, is this going to be a good payoff? Is this going to be smart? And having seen it, it definitely is. It's very satisfying. Mm-hmm. It's got some really cool twists, and I have to really watch my words here.
Be careful.
It's got some good twists and a really clever Patrick Jane moment, which helps lead to the grand finale of the Red John storyline arc. It also drops a couple hints about maybe there's a lingering mystery still. At least I think so.
Oh, interesting.
Others I've spoken to who've seen it have claimed that there's no mystery. I will insist that there is still a mystery.
Big December, I think December 1st or 2nd episode is the big reboot episode, the one where everything changes. It's essentially going to be a new show.
Yeah, I mean, will the CBI be back? We don't know.
All of you are relieved from your active duties.
It's interesting, Sunday night on CBS, you got The Good Wife and now The Mentalist shows that are going through major sort of reboots of sorts. Although Good Wife, you know, reboots sort of suggested the first one wasn't working or was getting old or whatever, and with The Good Wife's case, I don't think that was true. But they're both drastically changing their premise.
I'm not quitting. I'm letting go.
Would you call what Homeland is doing a reboot?
I would say Homeland needs a reboot soon.
There's nothing compelling.
The stakes are not high. You know, it's like...
What are the stakes?
There are no stakes.
They keep having Saul tell us what the stakes are. We've got our highest placed asset in the Iranian government ever.
Who cares?
Javadi's the highest placed CIA asset in the history of the agency.
He ordered and financed the attack on Langley.
I come to a peace with it if I just tell myself, you know what, Homeland Season 3 is 24. We're now officially 24. Because as we saw this week, we're taking peripheral characters like Farah.
You went ahead, didn't you? In spite of everything I said.
Bubba, an attack happened.
I bet her dad, you know, he's not happy that she's with the CIA.
And when the secret police find out who you work for, what then?
He's going to like grumble to the wrong person that his daughter's in the CIA. That's going to create a problem.
And now what's going on with Saul's wife's...
And that's the other thing. You know, basically any extraneous character now is going to have some sort of mysterious agenda.
Well, did you think for a second that maybe he was the one who bombed or moved the car with the bomb in it? That's what I was thinking. But,
Could be.
but
Just
now-
because they came out of the previous scene talking about that, then they cut to him like, oh, we're now showing you the guy.
Is he now just spying on her?
He's just being a snoop. Maybe, is he just a jealous boyfriend, or is he, you know, something far more sinister? Probably.
It's interesting how we get rid of one storyline that we don't care about with the daughter, and maybe that's a little exaggerating, and they just replace it with another one.
We got Carrie, you know, and this is in the Jack Bauer mode. Your hero is off doing something half-cocked, crazy, going against all the orders.
This is your last warning.
Listen to the man, Carrie.
She's, you know, going to like intercept this possible asset against everyone's orders to the point that they've got to shoot her.
I know.
And granted, you know, it's Quinn, he's got good aim, he just winged her in the shoulder.
Maybe they weren't anticipating that she
For
was going
heaven's
to
sake,
act out
she's
like
pregnant. I thought, I was wondering if she's gonna, that's what she's gonna whisper
right.
to him in the ambulance when she was like, come closer.
Where the f is Saul?
I thought she was gonna say,
I thought she was
I'm
gonna say-
pregnant with Brody's
that.
child.
I thought she was going to say the same thing that she said to Saul in the hospital. How was that?
Exactly,
How
that was spot on, that was spot on. And then what are we gonna do with Brody? What is Saul thinking here?
He has to bring him back to the United
But
States.
isn't he like a total heroin fiend now?
Even with all its faults, I still enjoy watching the show. Even for what it is this season. I like the performances, I like the characters, and I'm curious to see where they're going, and I'm still hopeful that something big is coming. I do have to imagine Brody's going to intersect with this story in some major way for these final episodes.
Yeah.
Why bring him back for this season for one standalone episode and a cameo at the end of this one?
Mandy Patinkin is just so fun to watch. Claire Danes is great.
Great, always.
The guy who plays Quinn is just so handsome.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Your brother. Your older
I'm
brother.
here. But that's unconfirmed.
Predictions.
Okay, I go first? I always go first.
Yeah, you go first.
My prediction is that, you know how Brooklyn Nine-Nine is getting the Plum after Super Bowl spot?
Yes.
either Tina Fey or Kristen Wiig is going to guest star in that big episode.
Interesting.
Andy Samberg's going to call in a favor.
My prediction also deals with Tina Fey. And this is something I talked to Tina about on the red carpet, and she claimed there was nothing going on, and there probably wasn't at the time, and there may not be now, but I think she's going to be on Parks and Rec this season. She's going to play a role in Parks and Rec, a big one.
So we have like a little contest here.
Yeah.
Where will Tina Fey show up first?
Show up first, yeah.
Whose friend's show will she visit first?
I think I'm going to win this one.
$20.
Hi, I'm Allison Brie.
And I'm Joel McHale.
And subscribe to ENT TV.
It's just ENTV for all your entertainment news.
No, it's EENTV.
It's just ENTV, so whatever.
It's ENENTEVE. Unless it conflicts with anything, channel or company we work for. I'm Allison Brie.
Signing off.